Greetings, social media land. This is Ted Victor, founder of the Broward Social Network. Today is July 5th, the day after the independence of the United States. The time is approximately 5 p.m. Today we have a wonderful guest, a friend, a community activist, a beacon of our community, Linda Thompson Gonzalez, who is also a Democratic candidate for Florida House District 93. And this conversation is going to be in both English and in Spanish, which is a perfect fit for South Florida. So I'm going to say, bienvenida, mi hermana, bienvenida. Welcome to the Broward Social Network.
Muchísimas gracias, Ted. Señor, es un placer enorme estar con ustedes, con todos los amigos que están con nosotros y contigo, por supuesto, más que todo. Gracias.
Perfecto. Mi amiga, mi hermana, we have quite a few topics to discuss. I am so proud of you for being a candidate to run for office, which is not a very easy task. Hundreds, if not thousands of individuals will see this interview, including those who are in your district. So please, and I'm sure you've done it many times, introduce yourself to the residents of South Florida, to the members of your community, your constituents, let them know who you are and why should they vote for you.
Gracias, Ted. Mil gracias. Hello, everyone. Happy 5th of July, the day after our wonderful national celebration. You know, we have other countries, our neighbors and other Americans who are also celebrating their Day of Independence today in Venezuela and later on this month, Argentina, throughout the Americas. So July is really a very exciting month to be talking and sharing this, and I'm so grateful to you, Ted. My name is Linda Thompson Gonzalez, and yes, I am a candidate for the Florida State House here in District 93. I'm very excited to be running, Ted. I had a lot of friends. We've been knocking on doors since September, and we qualified to be on the ballot.
Congratulations.
So we're very excited. You know, I've made this beautiful area my home after retiring from the Foreign Service. I was 14 years overseas in Latin America, Uruguay, Argentina, Bogota, y también in Peru, Bogota, Colombia. And so came back here home after those 14 years overseas. Before that, I was actually based in Washington, D.C. I was an attorney. I raised my 3 children there, and I joined the Foreign Service when my children basically went off to college. But I was an attorney, and I was Assistant Inspector General at the U.S. Department of State, which was a wonderful, fascinating job. I was the Assistant Inspector General for Congressional and Media Affairs, which meant that I was on the Hill every day working with our U.S. Congress on legislation, and also leading teams as I became the Assistant Inspector General, leading teams to fight fraud, waste, and abuse in our use of taxpayer funds. And also, we really held public officials accountable who are abusing their position, their public office for personal gain. But I go back to I think my favorite first job was helping small business startups. My very first job after graduating from college was with the Office of Minority Business Enterprise at the U.S. Department of Commerce. And there I learned about small businesses and the importance of small businesses. My dad was a small business person, so I knew this from growing up in a small town. But at the Department of Commerce, I really learned and valued more what I knew growing up as a young girl, that small businesses are the heart of our communities.
The bread and butter.
Yes. And so when I finished law school, I started 12 years in private practice to help small businesses. So 30 years of experience with the government here and overseas, really, Ted, 30 years of listening to people. You know, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, listening to people, finding out what their needs are, because that's really how we can help each other, listening, trying to get people to work together. And we solve problems. We were able to make people's lives better because we cared about each other, we worked hard, and we wanted to make our lives better together. So in a long way of speaking, that's really, Ted, why I'm running. We've got to do this, bring it home here now. as I have come back to Florida.
Okay, I have two enemies in life, just two enemies, no more, no less, nada menos y nada más. My two enemies are time and distance. Time, because I'm not sure if the universe, the divine architect, will grant me all of the time I would like to have in order to fulfill all of the necessary social issues, address all of the necessary social issues. And distance is that I'm not in physical company of great people like yourself, because I do believe that there is something to say about the company that you keep and the energy that's around you. I'd like to pick your brain a bit, because we say it every cycle. However, I do believe that this is the most important election year. What bothers you about our current political climate? What is driving you? Because honestly, based on your introduction, you don't have to do this. Life can be so much easier and just sit back and enjoy your grandchildren. You've done it. You've done your time. You've paid your dues. Why put yourself in this hot seat? Because I've ran for office. It's not easy. It is a humongous undertaking running for office. What bothers you about our current political climate?
Well, as you know, Ted, I'm running because of my grandchildren. And I go back, I think the most articulate words ever spoken were by Barbara Jordan. And she said, I cannot sit idly by. I cannot be an idle spectator to the destruction of our democracy and our Constitution. And I was a young girl when I watched Barbara Jordan at that moment during the Nixon impeachment. But her words, you talk about energy, and even though there's a distance between us, I sense your energy. I sensed her energy, something I didn't understand totally at the time, but somehow her energy spoke to me. And I feel that so much now, Ted. We cannot sit idly by and not do everything possible to make this world now especially better. And I have to say, the issues when I started knocking on doors, I still are the issues that we need to fix: gun safety, addressing our sea level rise. But I am so excited and am really inspired by this moment, because we've gone through this terribly difficult COVID, and yet this challenge is an opportunity more than ever, as we are seeing people out. When I was young, we were protesting against the Vietnam War, and we thought we were going to make the world better, and we have not done that. And the increasing our racism and our increased income disparity have been and remain the clear and present danger to our democracy. And so I am so inspired, Ted, by what I see. All of the young people, every color, stripe, and hue, we are all out there walking together. We are walking together for the first time in a movement that since I can remember. And
I'm doing, pardon me, I was raised better than that. I just want to jump through this computer and give you a digital hug and so forth. So one of the many, many reasons why I absolutely respect and adore you, and I'm happy about your campaign, is because you are not what I would call somebody who is visibly African American. So I'm going to ask you the question, because based on what's going on right now, we are in the era of George Floyd. We are in the era of discussing police brutality. Linda Thompson Gonzalez, do Black Lives Matter?
Absolutely. They matter, because we lose in doing this things to others. We kill ourselves, and we cannot continue. I said, it's not just our democracy at stake, Ted. It is our humanity. And when we destroy lives, we are destroying ourselves. We were talking earlier, my dad, he was a mayor in a small town and used to go, Frank Thompson, we are not African American, we are not Latino, we are just what we are, children of immigrants. I can tell you the stories of all our immigrants from all over, everywhere else. but he would go around and help the neighbors and take, friends and neighbors food and whatever. And I said, Daddy, why are you doing this? And he said, my darling, I'm doing this for you.
Right.
Because if we help one another, our life, our world, and this is a small town, but we must every day and everywhere help one another to make our lives better. And I, of course, didn't understand that at the time, because it's not a quid pro quo. It's I do this for you. It's we become better human beings, better people. All of this energy that we are sending into the world, we must be together. We must fight this hatred. We must come together and not let this hatred conquer us. That is why I feel so energized and more hopeful than ever, Ted, because of what I see, the young people, the old people, everybody out in the streets together. We know we must come together and reconcile these differences that are killing us and that are destroying us. And I think there's finally a realization, if we do not sit down and have our conversations about race and our inequality, our economic inequality that has gotten, just since I came back from overseas, when I left the country and came back, the income inequality and the injustice had increased, 100-fold, and it's getting worse. And what can we do if we don't, I used to say, if we don't have clean water, or what do we do if we don't have clean water? But now I say, what do we do if we don't have our humanity? What is our future? So it's for all of us. It's for my grandchildren. It's for your grandchildren. It's for all of our children. We have to work. I have this beach in the background of my picture, so that, someday I will get out there and just sit on the beach and relax. I'm a swimmer, I'm a hiker, but right now we must come together and talk to one another about our challenges, and we must listen to each other. If there's anything I learned in the 30 years of working overseas and in government, it's we must listen to each other and not listen to judge, and not listen to come up with the argument that we're going to state next. It's listen to each other to put ourselves profoundly in that other person's shoes, so that we understand where are they coming from. And only then can we come together and come with a solution, because only then will we understand what is that person's need, what are their real needs. And we have got to get away from this polarizing politicization to, red and blue. We have got to come together, listen, see what each other's needs are, and only then we will really form and be able to come up with real solutions. And we must, because we are, as we all see, we are heading off a cliff, not only with the environment, but with our democracy. A few companies may be doing very well, but if they don't, COVID is our window. It's opened everything, brought it all into focus. It's pulled back that curtain. If we aren't together in this, no one survives.
So I'm going to share with you some good news, okay? And I'm going to share with you a list of names. John Brown, William Lloyd Garrison, Garrett Smith, Henry Bibb, Lucretia Mott, Lydia Maria Child, Angela Grimecki. Now, the good news is this. In my lifetime, I've never seen white folks tell other white folks that Black Lives Matter, so which is a great thing, right? The good news is this. The list of names I just shared with you, that's a short list, and the list is much longer, of white abolitionists. White folks in America in the Harriet Tubman era, in the time of the Underground Railroad, who knew that Black Lives mattered. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for white folks, Harriet Tubman would have not been able to send a lot of Black people into Canada. So Black Lives Matter is nothing new. And Black Lives Matter because all lives matter, right? You cannot have all lives matter without Black Lives Matter, right? Because when you say all lives matter, in that umbrella, in that space, Black Lives Matter. So there's not one or the other. If you say all lives matter, guess what? Maybe I'm being too specific, but as an educator, you are also saying that Black Lives Matter. They are synonyms to me, right? They're synonyms, right? So therefore, we have to be, everybody has to be able to come comfortable to say that Black Lives Matter, because all lives matter, just as much as Hispanics, just as much as Caucasian lives, just as much as Native American lives. So therefore, there should not ever even be a question. And the fact that COVID-19 and George Floyd and the others, Breonna Taylor, Aubrey, Rodney Kings, all of the other individuals are revealing these conversations, because unfortunately, many times people are uncomfortable to have these conversations. They're uncomfortable to even say it. So again, I go back to my support of you as a candidate. When you are elected, when you are in Tallahassee, I do not necessarily want a representative who's going to be quiet on important issues. I need your voice, because you're not going to be speaking just for me. It's not my responsibility alone to make sure that I'm safe in my community. Just like I'm responsible for your safety, I want you to be safe. I don't want anybody to harm you. We are living in what's really called the village. Somebody created that light outside, which allowed me to, the traffic light, which allows us to control traffic. Somebody put the food on the shelves in the supermarket, which means that we are interdependent as human beings. We are interdependent as human beings. And therefore, I'm going to ask you, and pardon me for talking too much because I'm a bit passionate about this, to share with the public, what are some of the elements of your platform? Because there's just a long list of things that need to be addressed.
Yes. Well, the first, I mean, we've touched on a little bit. I mean, we need to get through this healthcare crisis. So right off the bat, and I know that, you know, the governor unfortunately was taking things out of the budget, but right out of the budget, a no-brainer is to expand our healthcare. And that is for everyone. Florida is the highest uninsured state in the third highest in the country. And until, you know, there's not going to be any economic recovery until people know that they are going to have healthcare. And this has been a long-standing problem that we never addressed, you know, but now we need to address it. We need to expand healthcare so that all of us have the healthcare we need. We know that expanding healthcare costs, it would save all Floridians millions of dollars every year. Over the last several months, I think that we now have 4 million people on Medicaid. And, you know, Florida just got almost it's $899 million in federal money to pay for all of those new enrollees. We are leaving our governor, it's really irresponsible. They're leaving federal dollars on the table, millions, if not billions on the table, that would pay for our friends and neighbors' health care. And because the federal government pays for the bulk of that. And we know that if we have an insured person going into the hospital for preventive care instead of the hospital for emergency care, it costs less. And it saves dollars because those hospitals, instead of taking off sky-high house losses for the uninsured, are dealing with the negotiated rates for an insured person. So it's number one, a no-brainer. It saves everybody dollars. Most of all, it saves human lives. So number one, expand Medicaid. Number two, we've had how many hundreds of thousands of people are dealing with this unemployment insurance mess. You know, the governor, we've had 3 or 4 audits. We've had the last audit while the governor was still in office. Our legislature is hiding. You know, they're missing in action. They don't want to come back because they don't want to deal with these. They don't want to expand Medicaid. They don't want to expand and deal with our unemployment crisis. While you've been there, I've been out in these food distribution lines. People are hurting. People are hungry. They're struggling to put food on their table. And so we have a legislature that is missing in action. They will not come back. They're afraid to come back because they can't deal with these issues. So we have a missing in action legislature that is not dealing with our unemployment insurance. The whole system in 3 or 4 months' time should have been rebuilt by now. I mean, it is awful. Okay, so those are first 2 things: expand Medicaid, get our unemployment insurance system fixed. We were left with one of the worst in the country. You know, only 12 weeks. Well, we need to expand that. Third, it was going to be on the ballot, I think, to pay a minimum wage to our workers. People need a decent living wage. So we need to do these things so that people can live humanely and get through this crisis. When the governor was cutting dollars, he took the Sadowski, he cut, I think it was 225 million of what we needed for affordable housing. South Florida, we are one of the highest cost burdened areas in the entire country. It's so expensive to live here. So we say we want to be, a thriving business area. We need to be able to attract and maintain workers who can afford to live here. So these baskets of issues all are about taking care of people, making sure that people have affordable housing, have health care, have a decent wage, and have a life that they can live and survive. Now, let me go back to some of the these are all urgent matters, and we cannot delay addressing these. We've had an unprecedented amount of federal dollars pouring into our state right now. The thing that I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I will. The thing that is really outrageous is that our state government is earning interest on those dollars in the unemployment insurance that is not being paid out. I repeat, we are getting interest paid on the money that we're not paying out to people who are in desperate need of food, the unemployment insurance. And I know hundreds as I walk around here in the food lines and everywhere else, people are hurting, they're starving. My partner and I, we go up and down, to try to give food and sandwiches to people who are out there. We need to get this in shape. Now, let me go to the other long-term interests. These are urgent priorities. The other long-term interest, which is really not so long-term, is gun safety. We have seen, I am proud to be a gun sense candidate, designated so by Moms Demand Action. We went together to lobby in Tallahassee. Once again, our legislature failed to pass common sense gun safety, which is a universal background check to get rid of the gun show loophole. Common sense legislation to save our children. I have been, for over a year, Mario and I have been distributing gun locks as we knock on doors. We've been giving gun locks to families where they have guns. In this country, I mean, there are over 3 million, I think, families in this country without gun locks in their homes where their children, small children live. So, but let me go back. We need to close the gun show loophole. We need to limit the amount of ammunition and these large magazines that people can buy, because that's for nothing other than to kill a lot of people in one fell swoop. We are seeing an alarming increase in the number of weapons purchases. We're seeing protesters running around in other states, protesting everything.
Give us, just very quickly, give us an understanding. Does your district include Parkland? Because we can't have this conversation without Stoneman Douglas, right? So are you near or are you far away from your district?
Parkland is nearby. And it's when I was canvassing, when I was able to talk to people in person, that and the sea level rise were the two issues, because Parkland and of course the Pulse nightclub up in Orlando are still very much on people's minds. I worked hard. I wanted to get the assault weapons ban on the ballot, but we did not gather enough petitions for that. But people are very concerned about the gun safety issue, and we have responsible gun ownership. We need to have guns where there are children in the homes. We need to have guns locked up. We need to have responsible. Now, people need to be trained in the assault weapons. That gets into another area, but we had a national assault weapons ban. As you know, we had the Brady ban until 2004 when our U.S. Congress let it lapse. That's another set of issues, and I still think it's a common sense idea. People need to be well trained, if you're military or or with the police, you have to have training for that. But we need common sense gun safety beginning now, and our legislature does not pass it again. What I'm speaking specifically of is closing the gun show loophole, limiting the amount of ammunition that someone can purchase, and thirdly, allowing victims of domestic violence to be able to bring a risk protection order so that they can remove the gun from someone who is engaged in domestic violence against their partner. They should not have guns. And we know the number of people, women in particular, who are killed by gun violence because their violent partner has a weapon. So that's what I would say about gun safety. Yeah, I want to move quickly to the other, because it's something I am so passionate about, is the issue of addressing our sea level rise. We are fortunate in Broward. We have wonderful leadership in our Broward County and our 4-county compact for resiliency. But as we saw when we had all of our pipes bursting and raw sewage spewing out everywhere, our state legislature was a bystander. They sent us, instead of helping us, replace our crumbling infrastructure, they sent the city of Fort Lauderdale a $1.8 million fine. Well, yeah, we should have, we need to fix the crumbling infrastructure, but that fine is going to be paid for by taxpayers. In Broward County, we're like a donor county. We send our tax dollars to Tallahassee, and we need to get our fair share back for our infrastructure, for our to replace our septic tanks, to go septic to sewer, and also for our water and our sewer. We really need that infrastructure. I got off of that because I started talking about our sea level rise. Along with that, because we saw with our infrastructure, the state was simply a bystander rather than a partner. We need the state to be a partner with a really comprehensive plan to address sea level rise and protect our clean water. We need to address our sea level rise in a way that is not just adaptation, not just raising our roads and building seawalls. We need to go to the core of our sea level rise, and that is becoming carbon neutral. We need to set a goal. Cities can set this goal. The state should set a goal of being carbon neutral by 2050 or earlier. We need to get on with this because that is really at the heart of addressing sea level. And we need to set that goal on a statewide basis, have a comprehensive plan to reach that goal. And that would involve, first of all, we just had the new projections for the increased height of our sea level. And we need to have our building codes address that. So we're building, new construction needs to be up a foot higher, and then people can get insurance discounts each foot up that they are building their new homes or new construction. But it's not just about building codes. We need to we need to have tax incentives so that homeowners and businesses will do the upgrades for increased energy efficiency, for installing those solar panels in their homes. We have some programs for that, but I know that that needs to be a much more robust program. And of course, we should start with our government buildings. All the new construction should require all these, green roofs, the new technology, more energy efficiencies, and use of clean energies, solar and wind, and so on. There are also things that we need to do with our urban planning. And this again goes to why we need a comprehensive state plan, because the state can bring not only added resources, but additional research and capability to a comprehensive plan. Because as we go from county to county, we are facing the same, it's a sea level rise all around Florida. So these studies can be utilized in a multitude of ways. We need to address our urban planning. And I've seen architects say that if you simply, storm surge is what really kills people in many of these emergency situations. And I've seen architects say that if you have as little as an 18-foot wide area left open for this storm surge to come in and back. It reduces the intensity of that storm. You know, the mangrove forests, there are many common sense ways. The mangrove forests help control the storm surge. They help control the temperature and the intensity of many of these storms. But we need to get about the business when we're talking about urban design of what they call a strategic retreat. A strategic doesn't mean we don't build on these areas. We need to plan what we're doing so that we know that we are building things safely, that when these major storms, and they are getting increasing in intensity, so that when these major storms come in, we will have a viable plan of action of building and construction and a strategic retreat from the ocean that protects us from the sea level rise. I've said a mouthful. Ask me a question. I'll stop.
Bastante cosas. Es que yo quisiera posiblemente en breve, si podemos, explicar al público hispanoparlante, la gente que estén escuchando, que verán esta grabación en español, y son bastante puntos. Y voy a ver si puedo repetir en breve lo que usted ha mencionado y usted va a explicarlo un poco más en sus palabras. Usted está postulando por apoyar a la salud de la comunidad, alojamiento, los salarios, la seguridad de armas. Usted quisiera contestar lo que está pasando o responder a lo que está pasando con violencia doméstica. Usted posiblemente también quisiera responder a lo que está pasando con el aumento del nivel del mar. Usted también quisiera que nosotros tengamos agua limpia. También usted está interesado en la energía verde. Entonces, sí se puede porque son muchos puntos, son muchos temas. Yo quisiera que usted contesta o explica al público un poco de cada punto que usted está concentrada a responder los importantes fenómenos que está aconteciendo a la comunidad. Porque aquí yo tengo 9 puntos, son lo de salud, de alojamiento, de los salarios, que realmente la gente no está ganando suficiente para sobrevivir bien. La seguridad de armas, porque infelizmente estamos sufriendo en ciertas comunidades, no todas las comunidades, pero en ciertas comunidades están más afectadas al respecto de armas, ¿ves? También violencia doméstica, el aumento, porque donde que nosotros vivimos en la costa de la Florida, el aumento del nivel del mar, lógico que todo el mundo debe estar interesado en agua limpia, la energía verde, y bueno, los paneles solares que usted también, yo creo que usted mencionó. Entonces, explícanos un poco en español de sus puntos importantes, porque cada persona tiene algo que le motiva para postular y buscar esa silla de estar en la política, ¿no?
Sí, gracias, muchas gracias. Y el 10º punto es que tiene que ver con la educación pública.
Yo como profesor, lo más importante para mí. Bueno, dale.
Rápido en inglés y después en español, porque the 10th point is really to do with public education.
Very important, the most important probably.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's our future and it's where everything begins. And our governor just signed a bill that would take away, put it's $200 million into these voucher programs to go to private schools. And the argument was that these are for children of lower income. Well, the lower income families getting, the children who are eligible are from families that are earning $81,000 a year, which is 30% higher than the national mean average income. In other words, they're saying that they're helping lower income children. My point is, our public taxpayer dollars should not be going to schools that do not abide by the same rules and regulations.
Exactly.
Because we have scarce resources for public education, and we can't give it to schools that are outspending others, that have no reporting requirements, that have no rules and regulations like the other public schools. Lo voy a decir en español ahora para que todos se entiendan bien. El último punto que te mencionó, que realmente es donde tenemos que empezar, es con la educación pública, porque están dando más plata. 200 millones de dólares acaba de dar a los vouchers, un programa de scholarships, becas para los niños para asistir a las escuelas privadas. Y el problema que tengo con esto es que estas escuelas no están bajo de las mismas normas como todas las escuelas públicas. Si tenemos escasos recursos para la educación pública y que si vamos a dar esos escasos recursos a las escuelas públicas, hay que darlo a las escuelas que están bajo el mismo régimen, siguiendo las mismas normas en cuanto
lógico.
a la preparación de las maestras y todo eso. Lo que está pasando es que están pasando la mayoría de los fondos de los taxpayers que nosotros estamos pagando en la educación pública a unas pocas escuelas privadas que están aprovechando y no están haciendo los mismos reportes de sus gastos y sus ingresos y están pagando mucho más, están haciendo un transfer de todos los recursos para la educación pública a esas pocas escuelas y no es justo para los niños.
Sí, déjame porque yo no creo que se entiende bien, su voz está entrando y saliendo y yo quisiera repetirlo muy despacio para el público. Yo no sé si usted está de acuerdo o no está de acuerdo y yo personalmente no importa si está de acuerdo o no está de acuerdo. Lo que es importante para mí es que ustedes, el público, entiende lo que está pasando. El gobernador de este estado, de nuestro estado, decidió de sacar dinero afuera de la educación pública y ponerlo hacia educación privada. Y usted me dice si yo estoy equivocado. Yo personalmente eso no debe ser. De nuevo, eso es mi opinión. Mi opinión. Lo que está diciendo la señora Linda Thompson Gonzalez es que eso es algo que no debe ser, porque el dinero público debe ser hacia las escuelas públicas. ¿Me entiende? El dinero público, porque las escuelas privadas tienen sus fondos privados, tienen gente que pueden pagar los estudios, las materias que pueden pagar los profesores allá. Entonces, si el gobierno federal está dando al Estado dinero que debe ir a escuelas públicas, pero el gobernador decidió de no poner ese dinero hacia las escuelas públicas, pero ponerlas en las escuelas privadas. Y su punto de vista, para darle un poco, explicarle un poco por qué decidió hacer eso el gobierno, él dice, porque ese dinero también puede ayudar al pobre. También puede ayudar al pobre. Pero eso no es así. La mayoría de la gente van a las escuelas públicas y por la mayor parte, por eso que nosotros estamos aquí, porque es una educación donde que no tenemos que pagar. La gente que pueden pagar, lógico que van a escuelas públicas. Si pueden pagar, van a la escuela, permiso, van a las escuelas privadas. Si pueden pagar, van a las escuelas privadas porque tienen los modos para pagar. Entonces, realmente no necesitan ese dinero que deben ir a las escuelas públicas. Perdóname interrumpirle, pero yo quisiera que la gente entiende lo que está diciendo. Sigue, por favor.
No, te agradezco mucho porque es un tema larga y muy importante y la verdad, y eso pasa porque lo han hecho un poquito de trampo cambiando dar la definición de escuelas públicas, los llaman como privadas, llaman como públicas para poder pasar esos recursos. Y realmente no es justo para los niños de nuestras comunidades porque no están recibiendo el beneficio de la educación pública que realmente deben de recibir. No es justo. Entonces, y gracias porque yo sé que con la tecnología a veces no es tan claro y discúlpeme que si no llega tan claro como quisiera, pero es importante ese punto porque todo empieza y todo termina con la educación de nuestros hijos.
Yo digo que la educación es la única profesión en el mundo, donde que todos los demás profesiones tienen que pasar a través. Todos los demás profesiones del mundo tiene que pasar a través de la educación. Sin la educación no sé dónde estaremos, no sé ni dónde estaremos. ¿Me entiende? Ahora, explícanos un poco más de los otros puntos muy importantes en español, porque a respecto de lo que está pasando hoy en día, los latinos están más afectados por la economía baja, la economía afectada. Los latinos están más afectados por el COVID-19, entonces no tienen ese seguro de salud que merecen como humanos. Entonces, habla un poco más al respecto de la salud y el alojamiento y los salarios, por favor, en español.
Sí, voy a hablar de todos esos puntos en particular, pero lo que quisiera decir al comenzar es que el presupuesto de nuestro estado hay que cambiarlo, porque el presupuesto está enfocado en apoyar a lo que ya tienen.
Ajá, bien dicho, mi hermana. Repítalo de nuevo, repítalo de nuevo. Ay, bien dicho, mi hermana, bien dicho, repítalo de nuevo. Y también
nuestro presupuesto es para dar la ventaja a los que ya tienen, los que tengan.
Entiende la gente que está escuchando, la gente que van a ver esta grabación, que el dinero que está, bueno, recibiendo, que está en este estado, van a la gente que ya tienen, Eso se llama perico ripiado en mi país, eso se llama una mafia, imagínense. Entonces, por eso que vale la pena votar. Perdóname la interrupción.
No, eso es. Y es un proceso un poquito largo, pero porque quiero hablar de todos esos puntos individuales. Pero porque yo he hablado con María y con otros amigos que están haciendo lo mismo, cuando llegamos, hay que cambiar el enfoque de ese presupuesto, porque lo que pasa ahora es que hay tantas exenciones para estas corporaciones grandes que no están aquí ni siquiera en el estado, no están pagando los impuestos. Entonces, todo el cargo de nuestros recursos públicos está en los hombros de los de mediano y bajo salario. Y hay que hacerlo al reverso. Y entonces, y por eso digo, tenemos que cambiar las reglas del juego un poco y apoyar a nuestros, por ejemplo, nuestros negocios pequeños en nuestras comunidades. Estos son el corazón de nuestra comunidad. Estos negocios pequeños nos pueden ayudar, dar empleo, nos dan la comida, todo eso. Entonces, hay que cambiar esas normas del juego, reglas del juego. Entonces, bueno, ojalá que se entienda eso, porque eso hay muchas cosas involucradas en cambiar esas leyes, pero hablando más puntualmente sobre, por ejemplo, el tema de la salud. Nuestros colegas en la comunidad afroamericana y también en la comunidad hispana, estamos nosotros trabajando en la primera línea, la primera fila para esa guerra contra el COVID, contra todo. Y es una que nos afecta desproporcional, nos afecta más en cuanto a salud, en cuanto a todo. Entonces, primero, la gente en Tallahassee no han regresado a trabajar para arreglar el tema de lo que llamamos, ¿cómo se dice? Expand Medicaid, expandir el sistema de salud que tenemos.
De salud pública, sí.
Exacto. Hay que expandir eso porque la verdad es más barato dar apoyo de salud público a la gente que dejarlos sin seguro. ¿Y por qué digo eso? Porque salud público está pagado por gobierno nacional en la mayoría, la parte mayor parte, el gobierno, el CARES Act y todo lo que nos han dado ahora el Congreso y todos los nuevos que están entrando en el salud público está pagado por el gobierno nacional, no el gobierno de Florida. Florida paga un pequeño parte. Pero yo digo eso porque nosotros mucha gente está perdiendo su trabajo y hay mucho más desempleo. Entonces, cada vez que uno llega a ser sin trabajo, pierde su forma, su seguro de salud. Y hay que expandir al Medicaid, que realmente hace muchos años lo hubieran debido de hacer y no lo han hecho en nuestros líderes en Tallahassee, nuestros representantes. Deben de hacer eso. Hay que expandirlo para darnos el salud que merecemos y necesitamos para mantener la vida y protegernos a nuestras familias, nuestros hijos. En segundo lugar, el gobernador acabó de acortar los recursos para lo se llama un Sadowski Fund, que es para nuestro alojamiento, nuestras casas. Cortaron esos fondos también, que hace más difícil cada día para las familias de mediano y bajo ingresos pagar sus casas, sus alojamientos. En tercer lugar, hay que hacer por fin lo que llama minimum wage, pagar
salario mínimo.
Salario mínimo, por lo menos a los 15.
Aumentar, sí, exactamente, aumentar. ¿Dónde estamos ahora? El salario mínimo, ¿cuál es ahora? $10, yo no sé.
Es 8, lo subieron 10 centavos este año. Es 8.93 o 9.98. Es
10 centavos.
Es una pena. ¿Quién puede vivir con esto? Y yo digo eso porque en Florida somos en salud, seguro de salud. Florida es el tercer estado en el país con la mayoría de gente que no tienen seguro de salud. Necesitamos eso, necesitamos pagar minimum wage, eso hay que aumentar eso a $15 la hora. Tenemos que hacer todo eso. Yo digo eso, tenemos que hacer todo lo necesario para que la gente pueda vivir con dignidad.
Adecuadamente. Si quisiera comprar un pancito, puede comprar ese pancito con un salario respetable, porque nadie puede sobrevivir en un salario menos de $9 por la hora. Eso es una locura,
Exacto. ¿Qué más? Estaba hablando de seguridad de las armas. No hay por qué todo el mundo tiene que andar con un AK-47 en los brazos. Además, hemos visto que hay más y más gente que están comprando estas armas, que es una cosa insólito. Yo he vivido más que 14 años afuera trabajando con el Departamento del Estado en Sudamérica. Estaba trabajando con las embajadas de los Estados Unidos en Bogotá, en Montevideo, en Lima, Perú, en Buenos Aires, Argentina. Y es una cosa insólita cuando la gente ve nosotros por nuestras armas. Somos locos, matando a nuestros hijos. Yo, desde que empecé esta campaña en septiembre, estaba tocando puertas para hablar con la gente y preguntando cuáles son las cosas que más te preocupan. Número 1 y 2, las armas que todos portan. Y 2 es el aumento del nivel del mar. Y eso en cuanto a amenaza nuestro agua limpia. Pero esa cosa de las armas es una locura. Lo que yo digo es que hay que tener common sense, gun safety. Es que hay que cerrar.
Sentido común.
Hay que cerrar esas exenciones de background checks. Todo el mundo quiere que haya un proceso seguro para prevenir que los que tienen antecedentes de criminalidad o los que son con violencia doméstica contra sus parejas, que no tengan las armas. Y hemos visto con ese Parkland y todo ese en el Fox Nightclub en Orlando, no hay por qué tener esas armas.
Definitivamente no son necesarios.
No. Entonces, voy a hablar un poquito de ese tema de sea level rise. No sé si, porque la verdad, esta amenaza, estamos ya con este agua entrando todas las casas, está sobrepasando las calles, está sobrepasando todo. Y es una amenaza no solo a nuestras casas, a nuestros, lo que hemos guardado.
Nuestra vida.
Todo. Y al agua limpia en este estado. Lo que yo digo es que tenemos planes cada condado y en Broward tenemos un acuerdo, un compact con 4 condados. Pero lo que nos falta son los recursos, el conocimiento y un plan comprensivo del estado para respaldar a todas las acciones que tenemos que tomar individualmente aquí. Necesitamos el respaldo, un plan comprensible todo el estado para realmente empezar a atacar ese problema del aumento del nivel del mar. Es una amenaza a todos. Y hasta el momento realmente el estado no está haciendo mayor cosa. Están invirtiendo un poco en los Everglades, pero, y eso es otra cosa que voy a mencionar, pero tenemos realmente tener un plan estatal para que podamos empezar a atacar ese problema. Otra cosa realmente que voy a mencionar, porque estaba leyendo que después de las elecciones van a empezar offshore drilling, buscar más recursos en el mar, como el offshore drilling, pero hay que prevenir ese ahora en Florida, el fracking y el drilling, porque estaban haciendo eso en Western Broward, en parte de ese condado, que era una amenaza a nuestro agua limpia, y hay que tomar acción para proveerlo por todo Florida. Y el hecho de que todavía no hay una provisión contra el... ¿Cómo dice drilling?
Perforación en alta mar.
Sí, y también en la tierra aquí, porque estaban haciendo...
Perforación es drilling, perforación.
Sí, y estaban haciendo eso aquí en Broward County, a pesar y unos grupos de protección del medio ambiente estaban en contra y tratando de prevenirlo, pero no lo lograron. Entonces, lo que tenemos que hacer es para proteger nuestro agua limpia, es prohibir
la perforación. Porque si, por ejemplo, los negocios, las compañías se están perforando la tierra, eso va a poner sedimentos en el agua que nosotros tomamos, ¿me entiende? Entonces, eso que es algo que nosotros debemos evitar y prevenir. Las compañías están haciendo en busca de oil, de recursos, para ganar más dinero todavía. ¿Ves? Esto todo es dinero. El capitalismo nos va a matar en un sentido. Entonces, es algo que nosotros tenemos que mantener los ojos abiertos para evitar lo que se llama la perforación de la tierra de nosotros para que los sedimentos no entren en el agua que nosotros tomamos.
Sí, para decir en pocas palabras, hay muchos intereses para hacer los ingresos para los otros y lo que buscamos, la razón por la cual yo estoy haciendo esta campaña, tenemos que hacer lo que es necesario para proteger a la gente, a nuestras familias, hacer lo que realmente merecemos como familias para protegernos, para tener salud, para tener el alojamiento en nuestras casas, para proteger lo que ganamos, realmente para vivir con dignidad. Eso es porque estoy adelantando esa campaña. Yo era un fiscal en el Departamento del Estado, trabajando 15 años allá, Assistant Inspector General en el Departamento del Estado. Después de eso, cuando mis 3 hijos salieron para el colegio, la universidad, disculpe, yo entré en el servicio extranjero, trabajaba en las embajadas de los Estados Unidos en América del sur, en América Latina. Y antes de eso yo era abogado para los pequeños negocios. Y con todo eso, yo estoy trabajando para mejorar la vida de nosotros, de la comunidad, para nuestros hijos. Estoy haciendo eso porque hay tantos intereses en contra de todo eso. Es una locura, porque si no protegemos a la gente, no tenemos nada de futuro en nuestro país. Y tenemos que protegernos, tenemos que ayudarnos el uno al otro para vivir bien. Nosotros no podemos vivir bien si nuestro vecino está sufriendo. ¿Cómo puedes vivir bien? Tenemos que compartir lo que tenemos y trabajar juntos.
Linda, yo le digo honestamente, me quito las gafas, me quito los lentes. Realmente, honestamente, me siento extremadamente orgulloso el hecho que usted es candidata. Me recuerdo muy bien llegando en este país a la edad de 5 años y la gente, todo el mundo me decía, speak English, speak English, speak English. Y ahora yo creo que es algo profundo, sincero, muy amable de encontrar un americano, una americana, usted hablando español. Y aunque yo apoyo que todo el mundo que vive en este país debe dominar el inglés, debe hablar el inglés, pero de cualquier forma, un americano o una americana que ha aprendido mi idioma, para mí es una persona sincera. Es por eso que le doy todo que yo tengo en mi plataforma de miles de seguidores y voy a decir a todo el mundo a quien yo conozco que debemos apoyar a usted y alguien que nos va a entender, alguien que nos va a apoyar, una persona que está pensando del ambiente, del lengua que nosotros estamos tomando. Mi mamá es de Haití y m'a dit en créole que tout le monde qui connaît Linda Gonzalez Thompson supposé supporter lui parce que c'est lui-même qui sincèrement travaille pour nous. Alors, la fecha que usted está postulando es el 18 de agosto o es el 3 de noviembre.
No, en noviembre, porque afortunadamente no tengo una persona que está en contra de mí en agosto. Entonces soy el único demócrata
Exacto, la única demócrata en su distrito. Entonces tenemos 120 días. 120 días. Nous avons 120 jours pour nous décider, pour nous chercher le monde pour qui voter pour Linda Thompson Gonzalez. Eu vou tentar de falar isso em português para a gente que fala português. A gente que mora lá no distrito 93, que fala português, os brasileiros, gente de Portugal, gente que fala português, a gente lusofona, eu preciso que você se escuta muito bem. Estou procurando gente que vai apoiar, que vai ajudar Linda Thompson Gonzalez, para votar para ela em 3 de novembro deste ano. 2020. Tem que falar para todo mundo, vizinhos, com gente que você trabalhar, vota para ela, por favor, porque é ela que vai ajudar a nós. Todo mundo que fala creole, 3 de novembro, c'est pour Linda Thompson Gonzalez pour voter por lui. Vamos a regresar muy rápido en breve en inglés, Linda, porque yo quisiera la gente saben dónde usted está representando, porque el distrito 93 incluye ciertas ciudades, ciertos códigos postales. Entonces, what are the boundaries? What are the cities of your district? Because for the people who are in the district, I want them to know that this interview is for them. So please talk about the cities that are in your district and the zip codes that are in your district.
Sí. Y antes de salir de español, voy a decir sabes que agradecerte infinitivamente para esta entrevista y esa oportunidad. También tengo que decir que la razón por la cual yo aprendí el español es gracias porque yo nací en un pueblo, gracias a los inmigrantes que vinieron a nuestro pueblo para recoger la cosecha. Y mi papá insistió que los niños, los hijos de esos inmigrantes trabajadores entraran en mi escuela, en nuestra escuela pública. Y gracias a mis amigos, mis colegas que hablaron español, yo quisiera aprender español para estar con ellos, para conocer el mundo de ellos. Y yo tengo que agradecer a esos jóvenes, Rosa y todos mis amigos desde la niñez a las
¿Eso fue en cuál ciudad? ¿En cuál ciudad donde nació? ¿Qué ciudad fue eso?
En sureste de Michigan, en un pueblo que se llama Pawpaw, P-A-W. Pero gracias a esos jóvenes, esos niños que vinieron, la mayoría de México, y vinieron con sus familias en condiciones muy difíciles, vivieron en nuestro pueblo y gracias a ellos eran mis amigos y yo quisiera hablar con ellos y me dejaron practicar con ellos, aunque era horrible como yo hablaba.
Qué bendición ser multilingüe, qué bendición ser bilingüe. Cada idioma que uno aprenda es una puerta abierta a una sociedad, a una población. Qué bendición. Estoy extremadamente agradecido y bendecido tener usted como amiga. Qué bendición. Sigue, por favor.
Gracias. Sí, pero gracias a ellos cambiaron mi vida y gracias. Bueno, en nuestro distrito, al norte empieza al norte en Deerfield Beach y después al sur hasta Pompano, incluye Lighthouse Point, incluye Fort Lauderdale, incluye partes de Wilton Manors hasta el sur, hasta Port Everglades. Y todo eso al lado del mar y al oeste hasta Dixie Highway. Entonces, todo al lado del mar, de Deerfield Beach hasta Port Everglades, y el punto más al oeste es Dixie Highway. Entonces, ¿quieres que lo repito en inglés también?
Sí, of course, everybody.
Yes. Ted, our district goes in the north. The northern boundary is Deerfield Beach from the north coming south through Pompano Beach, Lighthouse Point, Lauderdale by the Sea, I neglected to mention, which I live in Lauderdale by the Sea, including parts of Fort Lauderdale, the eastern part of Fort Lauderdale, everything east of Federal Highway, and then down to Port Everglades. So on the northern part, Deerfield Beach and Pompano Beach, west, as far west as Dixie Highway. So from Dixie Highway, everything east to the ocean is our District 93. I have to tell you, this is redistricted to be a red district, and that's why it is such a challenge. But I have to share with you, we are going to flip this district to blue.
Absolutely.
And I have to say, since March, I'm pleased for the first time, we have now, I think, 600 new voters to our advantage to a registered Democrat. So,
awesome. How many people are in your district?
We have, there are 95, because we have 43,500 registered Republicans and 45,000, it's 43,000 to 42,000 Democrats to Republicans, and then 33,000 independents.
So, okay, so you're looking at about 130,000 registered voters in your districts. Yes. And I'm asking, considering the times that we're in, I'm asking, and they say think big, right? I'm asking for us to think big. I'm asking for all 120,000 voters in District 93 to vote for Linda Thompson Gonzalez, and let's get the job done in Tallahassee. Come on now, come on. There's just no question. There's just no question. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go even a step further. You know what? I'm not even asking you to be a Democrat. I'm not even asking you to be a Democrat. I'm asking you to think logically, look at the issues, and vote for the person who's making sense. Look for the person who's going to make changes. You want to be an independent? I respect that. You want to be Republican? I respect that, okay? However, in November, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know that this is a closed, what is it? We call it a closed party state. Yeah, but in November, everybody can vote, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
so therefore, I'm not asking you to change your views. I'm just asking you to vote right. I'm asking you to vote Linda Thompson Gonzalez. How about that?
And the rising sea isn't red or blue. We got to fix the rising sea.
COVID is neither red or blue. COVID-19 is neither red or blue. It is an equal employer or equal impactor opportunity. It doesn't matter what what political party you are, because those are self-made decisions. And at the end of the day, we're all human beings who need to survive.
That's correct. Absolutely, Ted. We need solutions. And as I said at the beginning, we need to listen to each other, and we need to find solutions for people, for all of our people, because we've got to make this a better place for all of us. We don't want to just survive this crisis. We want to thrive. We want to thrive. We want to thrive in a beautiful, whatever we come out of COVID with, we want to all be healthy and well and stronger.
Absolutely.
For all.
Absolutely. My goodness, Linda Thompson Gonzalez, I actually can talk to you for quite a few more hours, and I'm open to the possibility. Listen, there are 120 days between now and then. I'm open to the possibility of you coming back and doing a part 2, because we didn't really have a chance to talk, to my satisfaction, enough with you and enough about education, because I do believe that education is really the avenue towards what's called a civil society. And I'm not necessarily sure that certain members of our society are practicing civility. When we have people killing people unnecessarily, when we have so many protests across this country and all over the world is watching the United States, when we have people who are supposed to be protecting us, not really protecting us, but killing people who look like me. So therefore, I would like to invite you at your leisure. I am at your disposal. My platform, my multilingual platform of thousands of participants are at your disposal to come back and talk to us again about the important issues that are going on in the United States, in our state. I am so proud of you. I am doing intellectual and emotional cartwheels about your candidacy, about your race, and I definitely am expecting you to win on November 3rd.
Thank you so much, Ted. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for listening. I look forward to talking with you anytime we can, because education is, for all of us, is what brings us together. It's our hope, it's our future, it's our present, it's everything.
There you have it. Well, there you have it, social media land. I am Ted Victor, founder of the Broward Social Network. Today is Sunday, July the 5th at approximately a little bit after 6 p.m. We've been speaking to the candidate of choice in House District 93 in Florida, Linda Thompson Gonzalez. I ask you to please revisit this video, watch it again, and make your decision as to who you'd want to be representing you in District 93. I ask that you share this video, spread this message with your friends, your neighbors, and anybody you know to go out and vote on November 3rd, 2020, and vote for Linda Thompson Gonzalez, the Democratic candidate of choice in District 93 this year. Let us make this happen, because there are a lot of you suffering. I've seen the lines of people waiting for food. I've seen the students who need help. My wife is a nurse. She works at a hospital, and I'm seeing the numbers are going up in the COVID-19. And if we do not make a decision to help our community, I'm not necessarily sure what our community will look like in a few months. Okay, so there you have it. I thank you for your time. We will be interviewing some more candidates on this platform, so I look forward to seeing you again. Linda Thompson Gonzalez, que Dios te bendiga, te adoro, te quiero mucho, buena suerte, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Mil gracias. Un abrazo fuerte a todos. Gracias.
Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Mi placer, mi placer. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.